Welcome to Will We Unban Will, episode 4. Will is playing against Sexytime. He's playing as Undead, is our Will. Our Will. And he's probably going to go... That doesn't look like a crit theme build at the moment. So ghouls? Ah, he might be aggressive. Okay. He's playing against Sexytime here. So what's the catch? You're saying, well, Sexytime's too good a player to play against Will to make this fair. Well, look at this tree of life. 650 health. This is stupid. 650 health. It's going to be so easy to kill that tree of life. 500 hit points, Ancients of Wars. So this harass is going to be pretty hard, but he might be able to still get away. 500 health is kind of decent enough. It's like a slightly stronger footman with a lot more damage. Yeah, Sexytime is playing at 50% health. So you can handicap yourself in melee games down to 50%. You actually can't go lower than 50%. I don't think. I'm pretty sure 50 is the lowest it lets you go, but I've never really done it that many times, so maybe you can, but for some reason in my head it's telling me that 50% is as low as you can go. And I think that's about as low as he should go, because 50%, even if you're a really good player, is pretty hard. So, oh, this is such a risky move. I'm really not sure why he's going for Lich, other than the fact that he's probably wanting to rush as hard as possible. Because that's a ghoul thing to do with undead. Ghouls, Lich, rush. But you typically do that versus undead players. Versus 9 elf players, you get yourself a Death Knight, and you get yourself Unholy Aura instead of the Coil, because the Demon Hunter's probably going to burn all of your mana. He's making its way in already. So Ancient of War is going to be doing some damage. The Acolyte's still very vulnerable, even to a 500 health Ancient of War. So, we'll see how Sexytime holds up versus this. Looks like he's going for the right approach, actually. This is quite clever. He's going for a Tavern Hero, Dark Ranger as well. 275 hit points. So you better be careful with that one. A couple of Novas might kill it. Yeah, lots of Ancients of War to help with base defense in case Will does rush, which it looks like he really, really wants to. Like, I can't see how he's not going to rush if he's gone for this. Yeah, he is. Okay. 7 ghouls takes it down in no time. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? The Ancient of War is making its way in. Good thing I've got this on... Well, Sexytime's got this on referees. This is his bot. Dark Ranger moving in. Ancient of War, ready to take down some Acolytes. Pressure on the east-hand side, pressure on the west-hand side. This is going to make Will's rush a little bit more tough to pull off, because he's going to be getting hit passively over time with the Ancients when he's not paying attention. Oh my goodness, there's already going to be some skeletons coming out. Will's not microing that. He's going straight for the main, which is doing a hell of a lot of damage. Will, oh my goodness, that main is going down. Everything needs to get back and repair that main. Oh my goodness, he actually might pull this off. Will's transferring his threat onto the Dark Ranger. There's still an Archer to pick off, though. Extra kills. And the main is going to be alright, as long as there's about 4 or 5 Wisps to stick on it, because that will still keep it alive. The repair rate still out DPSs the ghouls, if you see what I mean. Out repairs the DPS of the ghouls. More skeletons coming in. Sexytime looking good. Both Frost Novas being used, so there's nothing left now apart from auto attacks from the Lich. Will's still getting massively beaten up by this Ancient of War. He's not really taking enough damage from that Nerubian. It can probably eat another tree and survive the damage from the Nerubian overall. Will's having to move back his ghouls, but are they going to reach back before they get taken down by the Dark Ranger to fight as the undead? Oh, Ancient of War actually did go down because a couple of ghouls supported the damage on it. So that did eradicate the Ancient of War threat, and now the Acolytes are coming in, which means very slow gold income for like the next minute or two for Will. The damage done here was not justified. It killed an Archer, possibly a Wisp or 2. Not too much, other than losing about 4 or 5 ghouls maybe, and a few Acolytes. So Sexytime is in a great position here to continue the game. He can snowball because the skeletons, they're going to be on the 50% as well, 108 health each, but you get enough of them, you can still creep quite a lot. With the range DPS that he's providing with archers and Dark Ranger, he should be able to take out quite a lot of creep camps despite his very low health, because your damage isn't nerfed, only your health if you take the 50% handicap or the handicap whatsoever. So that's what he's going to be looking to do, pull creep camps back and manipulate their position. He might be bold enough to go for this creep camp. No, he's actually moving over here. Very crafty. I was not expecting that. Okay, looks like he might have an expansion which will double the amount, well, not double the income. As long as he stays under 50 food, it will double his income. So he could really stock up some cash and then outmass Will. So despite being on the 50% handicap, with an expansion, he should be able to make his life considerably easier. So Sexytime is really using the very good strategies here. He's not being too reckless and just pure creeping or, you know, trying to be aggressive versus Will. He's setting himself up, but that Tree of Life, man, he's got to start team killing its Dark Ranger soon. Maybe. He's actually going to still be okay. If you do get into too much trouble, remember you can attack your own unit. And that goes for buildings as well, such as Engines of War or Trees of Life. And it will stop the creeps from attacking it temporarily until it goes back and attacks the creeps. Parry up to Vitality actually boosts the Dark Ranger to 463 health, so it's kind of a good item. And Sexytime is very good versus Undead, by the way, as a Night Elf player. He's got a very good win rate on War 3 Arena versus him. He says it's his easiest matchup, and I believe him. He has a very specific strategy, which he's pretty much doing now. I could tell you what he might be going for if you can't work it out. I'll let you have a moment. He's got lots of archers. Dark Ranger. That archer. No deal, archer. No deal. Hippo riders. Hopefully Will's not stream sniping this as well. So he doesn't know, and he's not going to prepare himself. He's starting to move over towards Fiends though, so he could get himself webbed, but yeah, Sexytime likes his Dark Ranger and Hippo Riders. Why Dark Ranger versus Undead? Well, she's also undead, so she actually can't be nuked by Coil and Nova. So again, another smart pick, because at a 50%, you know, hit point ratio, with what the Dark Ranger had at the time, about 273 health, one Coil and Nova would pretty much kill her. If the Coil's level 2, because the Coil still only does 100 damage at level 1, but it does like 200 damage to enemy heroes at level 2, so yeah, that would be significant enough. Will's attempting to creep aggressively towards the enemy camp. He can pull this off because of Fiend imbalance, but there's not many units for Will whatsoever. A couple of Fiends. It's getting that tech almost up though. Maybe some statues would be really good. Pit Lord is a possibility, but the problem with the Pit Lord is he's open for a lot of damage. He still can't be nuked by the undead, but he's melee, and he constantly is going to be getting hit. I think Sexytime might just stick to Dark Ranger. I'm curious to see whether a level 6 Dark Ranger, aka a Dark Ranger with Charm, the ability to steal a creep or a unit from the enemy, a creep if it's level 5 or under. If he steals, does it reduce the creep's health instantly to like 50% of what it would have been? Or does he actually get it at full health? Because he could use Charm to get himself a bunch of normal health units. Lich moving in. Not sure what this is going to do. Keep with the Grove being picked up. Entangle is definitely effective, but very soft at 250 health. This, I don't think, is necessarily the right move for Will. If he gets the Keep of the Grove kill, he'd be very fortunate, but it looks like he's opening himself up for a whole bunch more Lich kills. He's not teleporting out, and the Keep of the Grove is basically like a raider within Snare. He's just going to entangle and get a whole bunch of free kills. One of the worst things you can do is run away from a Keeper of the Grove or Orc with raiders, because they just get a whole bunch of free kills. That's every single Fiend gone. Will is only at 390 gold. I have no idea how he's going to make a comeback, because the expansion is up now for Sexytime. Fairy Dragons. Oh, Sexytime's just rubbing salt in the wound now at this point. Fairy Dragons aren't even a terrible unit for this scenario, because they have an ability called Phase Shift, which allows them to not take damage from the first hit, or when they do take damage from the first hit, they go sort of into another realm, and they're untargetable for like a second or something like that. I have the same amount of moon juice at least. Needs more wood. Needs a shredder. Are you getting yourself a shredder? So yeah, the phase shift sort of negates focus fire from an enemy because the fairy dragon sort of puffs into unexistence. It comes out of existence. I really don't know a good way to explain it, but basically it means that the fairy dragon isn't targetable for like a second or two. So then you start going for other ones. Yeah, it looks like he's keen on the fairy dragon, so he's actually not going for hippo riders here. Probably would have gone for hippo riders if he felt more threatened. We'll finally get a statue now, which is a very big boost to undead. You really want a statue or two. It just helps basically make creeping so much easier so he can push. Sexytime with a large army of archers though should be able to take even any Red Creek camp, providing that he attacks it from a long enough range. Despite the 50% handicap, he's got the damage and the ability to entangle the units for kills. Will still not with an expansion at this point, producing more fiends and more statues. Level 4, Dart Ranger. Maybe considering coming down here. It's a bit of a trap. The Rock Golem is almost about to go down. Any nice items? Time of Experience and Sobi Mask. Actually very, very good items there. The Sexytime is trying to squeeze through. He's going to get a few acolytes at least here. I don't think Will's going to respond quick enough here. 2 acolytes and a third one probably with the skeleton focus in it. There's not much. This is the trap that I'm talking about. Is whilst you go down here, you can obviously get some damage done, but getting out is a nightmare. Will's so far away though, and does he have a TP? He does have a TP. He can respond, and he's opening up an expansion now. Sexytime is now moving his fairy dragons in. I haven't seen any upgrades. He's got triple Ancients of Wind. He's on 75 food right now, and Will's only on 36 food. So even at 50%, there's no way I think Will can take this unless he can pick off enough units to build up the experience on his hero. But the Lich was too much of a gamble first. At least he's got the Death Knight to support. So the Fairy Dragons are going to be a massive surprise here, because Will just thinks this is it. But boom, in comes those Fairy Dragons. Death Knight has to run, pick up a health potion if he can. That Dart Ranger hit did so much damage, plus 21. Massive amount of damage. I don't think Will has web research, he just didn't expect it. He's panicking now, he's trying to get his Lich back into position. He needs to tower up, but where are the resources for the towers? Fairy Dragons running amok. Statues going down. Skeletons pushing forward. 203 health. Greater Dark Skeletons. Pretty hard to pick off with a Lich with only rings of protection. So not the best items there for Will, unfortunately. He wasn't able to pick himself up anything too neat. And the Lich is just struggling to stay alive. Fairy Dragons have found their target. They've executed. And now they're going to go for the Acolytes. This looks like a lot of red inside of a blue base. So Will might have to wait another week before he can potentially get himself unbanned. This is the last attempt to try to get some gold back for Will so he can build up his expansion and come back into the game. Well, I guess Will's not getting banned. You just missed out on 1337 there, Sexytime. Just missed out. Stay tuned for next week. Another episode of Will We Unban Will. GG.